So you started your career. You actually went to school for music, despite having a family background in music. You actually went to school. So tell me how you think actually going to school for music impacted your journey.
Nah, I think it was a really academic period of my life, and it was educational, but it was actually it was a little challenging and frustrating at times. But I think to answer your question, I think the most beneficial thing from going to school was really just the community with my friends and other musicians, and I feel like that was the first time in my life I understood about relationships and networking, and just having a camaraderie and a collaborative spirit, and how much further that can take you than just working by yourself. So I think all that education, all those years of school, I think if I learned anything just by being around my peers, okay, it was worth it.
But let me tell you, straight out of school, he went to work with somebody legendary. So right out the gate, he started working with Lauryn Hill. Tell us a little bit how that came to be and that process.
Nah, yeah, it was crazy because people ask me, it's just crazy how the choices you make in your life are like a domino effect, and it just so when I was in school, there was I feel like music business sometimes is like high school, but like college was an extension of high school. Like you had the popular ones, you
Yes.
had the popular musicians that were like everybody knew as them as the all stars. They're gonna be famous, and then you had the other, what I'm saying, folks that were just working, a work in progress. You know what I mean? And so one couple there was a couple friends of mine that they weren't like necessarily all stars, but we just always they were cool dudes. We always hung and worked on music together, and it was crazy. I graduated from college and I moved back in with my parents, and I was doing the same things I was doing when I was in high school. So in some ways I was like, damn, what am I doing? And then what I mean, I'm literally in the same rehearsing with the same band I was playing when I was in high school. And
Yeah.
so took a step back almost in my mind, and I got a call from my boy who from college. Well, I'm like, what can he possibly, you know what I'm saying? I'll
Yeah.
call him back. It's not important. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So when I went to the restroom, I checked my messages. He was like, bro, you got to come to Boston right now. Lauryn Hill's here. She's having auditions. She asked me if I knew any guitar players. So you got to, I said, what? Okay. I literally, that was my moment. And I was like,
And what year was this? What Lauryn Hill?
2005.
Okay, cool. Gotcha.
So this was 6 years after the release
This is
of
like
the
the
album.
comeback. This is like her coming back.
This was about a year. This was a year or two after the Unplugged album.
Got
This was
you.
still when she was still in that Unplugged era.
Yeah,
and stuff.
for sure.
So man, like I literally got in my car and just drove to Boston, like from the rehearsal. Just literally got in my car and drove to Boston. I met Lauren in the studio. It was just me and a couple other people. She asked me to play something.
What did you
I
play?
played it. She was. It's funny.
Good question.
Now, cause I ain't gonna lie,
No,
cause
that's
I,
amazing because it's actually.
Because I damn near wanted him to play it for us. Like I want to see.
Grab the guitar
Yeah, I want
right
to say.
now and do it.
No,
No.
but on some real shit,
Yeah.
That's a deep question actually because at the time I was like a musical nerd, and so one of the things I was getting into is like African folk music, and like so she asked me if I knew how to play. Randomly, she asked me if I knew how to play like any African stuff on the guitar. So I was like, oh, what? Bet, let's go. And she was like, oh, okay. And then so when I started playing acoustic, she was like, okay. And then so literally that was maybe 7 p.m. and then we stayed up making music till maybe 11 a.m.